I shitted myself. Alex, what are you doing? Did you smoke too much weed? Mirage. It was Mirage. And it seems I began to see the future. I see a swarm of drones approaching us, and an anti-drone gun doesn't affect it. Speaking of which, we've also made video on anti-drone guns. We took the most modern anti-drone guns and tested them out. To see what came of it, you can watch it on our Boosty. I give a recommendation there on what the best anti-drone gun is to use against drones. As you understood by now, the topic of today's video is FPV drones and ways to fight them. The first thing you gotta know, if you're on the front lines or frontline territories, you better take shelter in a house. And if there are no houses, then trees should work. Obviously, you'll hear a drone. It goes like... Well, you get it. You could hide behind the tree, try to maneuver. By the way, there's a video which I won't be showing where one of the soldiers dodges a drone. He shows going one way, but then goes in another direction. And a drone follows. By the way, do you know what this thing is? It's a drone detector. Let's have a look at what's on the horizon. Not a damn thing yet, but that's only temporary. I've got a gun that has been used to shoot down drones more than once, and I've got something else. I have a good old Kalashnikov, a thermal scope eye-ray in the latest modification which completes an outline. Today I'll see if it gives some emission. In short, is there an advantage if I'm sitting with such an eye-ray and a drone flies towards me and I see it? We'll see. I've got a net launcher. You know, there's that bitch launcher. It's apparently about this net launcher. A drone flies towards me and I go BAM with this net launcher. So that might be interesting. And worst case scenario, one of the most expensive options for today is an anti-drone gun which has different frequencies. There are 6 of them here. We'll take a look at which of these will save you from an FPV drone. We've tried to do something similar against a normal DJI Mavic drone. You can watch that video right there. But for today, let's fight an FPV. Okay then, we're now launching a drone and see whether this detector would work on it or not. Fly it and I'll be running away from it. Shit. A dangerous fella. Okay, that's enough. And now, let's take a look if it has any heat signature. I think not, but you never know. And eye-ray completes outlines of a heat object. We will see if it has any heat signature. Listen, yeah, there is. He's got it? Yep. Yeah, you can see it as well as the clouds. Okay, a drone comes for me and I'll try to shoot it down. Very simple. No luck. In short, after 2 attempts, I could not do it. Try burst fire. Let's try it with burst fire. Let's do it again. Not a chance. I've emptied a full magazine into it and not a damn thing. I suggest we go further. A net launcher. Cost 65,000 rubles. There are about 30 types of uses here. The net is put inside. The major problem is to put the net back inside, but the net itself is located in this container. This is the launcher itself, and inside of it is located a pyro cartridge. This is what it looks like. It unscrews. Here, a pyro cartridge is in place. Essentially, the cartridge is blank. Inside of this box is, as you understand, a firing pin which moves out, electronics turn on, and a launch happens with the help of a remote. The remote is in my hand. Now, an FPV drone will fly at me and we'll see if this thing is capable of stopping it. In essence, no one shoots at a drone because for that, you need balls of steel to shoot at it at close range like this. And in fact, you only get one chance. The best method is to try to run away from it to some obstacle for cover, or try to somehow deceive it. Well, we've seen a video where it is even taken down with a stick once, but it's probably once in a million. The characteristics of it are quite simple. It shoots up to 10 meters forward. But for me, just to be sure, I need the drone to get closer to me. And there's another moment. Would this net, its weight, be enough to entangle it so that it falls before me? But what if it falls, that is, it gets caught and it hits me? It flies towards me, I put the net forward, and press the button. Let's go. I don't got 7 lives, goddammit. I gotcha. This is interesting. Look, it got taken down. Essentially, I fire at it, it gets down, and I roll to the side. Great scheme. A working one! Of course, if it was flying towards me and I wouldn't move out of the way, then I'd be screwed. But in any case, everything worked. Awesome. The nuance in this is that if this thing was flying right towards me, possibly the prick mechanism, which basically reacts to the change of direction, it could have exploded. If it was kefir, maybe I would have been lucky, but if it was a thermobar, it isn't a fact that I would have got lucky. But this is a very cool experiment which shows that it can be stopped, and you don't need to run away from it anymore. You would probably equip it in places you're located at your deployment spots, because I think your life definitely costs more than 65,000 rubles. Because that's exactly how much a net launcher costs. If they could somehow be modernized, make them bigger for example, make projectiles more universal, because this thing here, to put it all together now, I would have to spend a good hour, if not more. So this thing is not comfy to use. It's somehow made old-fashioned, but considering the pyro cartridge, a blank cartridge is being used, then in principle it won't take long to study the scheme and create something similar. This is what I consider one should spend their money on. I, for example, bought 2 anti-drone guns for 350,000 rubles. And as we found out, on other frequencies, FPV drones fly on different frequencies, they have the ability to change their frequency mid-air. There are already such developments, so of course I would spend my money to get me 10 of these things with 30 of these nets in a set. And then I'd be able to automatically press buttons as they fly towards me. In short, we will continue conducting more experiments. Write in the comments what you think about it, some other constructions and so on. If you've got an idea on how to do this cheaply and cheerfully, write us. Let's move on to a more proven remedy. I hope it's proven. An FPV drone is detected, tells me the drone detector. And I know I've got to do something with that. Obviously, I'll hear it when it gets close to me. I'll probably have 100 meters to figure it out quickly, and for today, we have the last result that will help us with the drone or not, we'll find out now. This has 6 frequencies, 433, 900, 1.2, 1.5, 2.4 and 5.8. It's probably the largest amount of frequency that I've ever seen. And the good thing about it is that it is narrowly focused. There's even a scope here, apparently so you can see it better. In short, I don't know what distance it takes one down. What's better, just a 12 gauge, a net launcher, an AK, or this tourist set? We'll test out all of the frequencies, we'll turn them all on. Obviously, the more frequencies are turned on, the smaller the signature is probably, I think. Okay, we'll turn on 3 frequencies, it flies close to me, and if it goes into my head... If you've noticed, we don't use a cumulative projectile because Commandante is not disposable. Meaning I don't have the lives of a cat. I'm waiting on the drone, let's go. By the way, at this moment it only identifies DJI UAV. And even then with difficulty. There it flies, that beauty. Here it's flying. I turn on the device. And guide it. I think it guides you. Why is nothing happening to it? So it's flying normally? Just the picture is static. So that's it? Why in the hell doesn't this work? Alright, I'm turning on 2.4 and 5.8. And now? So look, for the cons. The gun, this one here, didn't say whatsoever. Regardless of these frequencies, I had to come at point-blank range. If you have the balls of steel like mine, and you're going to approach it at point-blank, then this weapon is surely for you. But if you understand the fact that it's not worth your life, then I wouldn't do it. And one more con. I shitted myself, no. One more con, it jammed my mic. So at one point there was no sound. Complete disadvantages, I haven't found any pros yet. Guys, I'm sorry I didn't want to hate you, those who made this weapon. If even on a simple base frequency it doesn't work, then I think it is worth reconsidering somehow. You gotta do something with that. In any case, I wouldn't spend 200,000, 300,000 or a million on such a thing just to make sure the drone is coming at me point blank. Let's do this once more just to 100% verify it. Let's check it again. We'll raise the drone right near me and try it again. Okay, so look friends, I'm now turning on all of the frequencies and we'll try to down at least something with this thing. Here's a Mavic drone hanging in the air. I'm trying on it. What's gonna change? It's on. Did anything change? Yeah, the sound disappeared. It screwed the remote. It's going back to home base. That is, on DJI, on Mavics, this thing works. It's not useless. Why does my voice sound like Varlamov's? Alright, put it down. Another drone comes in to replace it. An FPV drone. I'm again turning on all of the frequencies from 1 to 1.5. Here I pressed on them, and here I shoot. That's up close. It will fly further out, and we'll see what's gonna happen. At this distance at least, will it shoot it down? Here, I turned it on. I turned it on, look. All the frequencies are on. No reaction whatsoever. I have it in my sight. Get it closer to me. That is it. This is death, guys. Winchester 1300 Defender, 12 gauge. We load in a buckshot and a pellet. I put in 4 rounds. I think the working distance will be no more than 50 meters. I mean, no closer than, because the farther the dispersion spread, the better. Let's see if he can come at me low to the ground. Dude, on the first try, he flies close to me, and in just 15 meters, it freaking crashes from my Berdan rifle. Its wires got cut through, and that was the end of his life. Moreover, his propellers broke, and some people laughed, "Holy mother, they're walking around with shotguns out there." But in fact, this is the most effective anti-drone weapon. And you know, honestly speaking, this distance is enough for you to have an opportunity for a maneuver. That is, you're standing somewhere behind a tree, and you shoot at it. The drone is no more. The most effective tool today is this shotgun. Pellet, buckshot, and so on. Today I had buckshot, and I took it down with a buckshot. Of course there are drones which are ready to fly into any ass, such as this one here, for example. But it lifts up very little, so one should be wary of it only as a reconnaissance. So friends, it was heavy caliber Ruckus with you, and today we found out that if you have an anti-drone gun with all the frequencies, you're the goat, but you'll spend a fortune on it. And finally, if you have money for this gun, then just buy this one instead, since it turns out this is the most effective method of defeating FPV drones. See you, gentlemen.